All right, everybody. It is 4:18 on our Thursday afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins, and that could be our first tropical depression or even storm of the season. Hurricane hunters are out there right now. So I want to give you a brief update. Kind of held off on my post here this afternoon because Recon's out there right now, and I'm thinking they might want to do something as far as naming this. We have not heard anything as of right now. So yeah, Natalie says no too. So let me just talk about what we have right now. All right, so here's a look at it. Let me take you back here. This is a graphic we have that we use all the time. This shows you where we expect tropical development during the month of June. And this is just a graphic we've had forever. Look at that green spot. That's one of the highest places, right? More likely, look where it is right now. That is Invest 91L. We've been watching it for several days now. We got the Invest yesterday. Pressure's down to 1,007 millibars. Probably looking like 1,006 with winds in the 40s right now. And if that's the case, then we do likely have a tropical storm on our hand. Right now, the Hurricane Center has this at about a 70% chance of developing. And they basically said that we could be looking at either a depression or
Tropical Depression 2 at 5 o'clock.
There we go. Tropical Depression 2 coming out at 5 o'clock. So we're going to get a track on that. Could you do the Tropical Tracker 1, if you don't mind? So we're going to get a depression out of this. So basically, first name on the list is Arlene. It does not get a name until it becomes a tropical storm. But they're going to go Tropical Depression number 2 starting at 5 o'clock this afternoon. So we'll be getting a track with it when we get that. We'll show you that here in just a little bit. Look at what's happening here. I mean, basically, obviously, here's where the center is right here. But the flow around it is throwing moisture our way. It's not exact rain bands like you see here. These aren't extending all the way out. But the flow is, and there's a lot of moisture involved in that. And that kind of gets into our own environment here and starts these slow-moving showers and thunderstorms. And that's really the extent of what I think we're going to get out of this. It is centered over warm water. You need 80 degrees or higher. The orange is 80 or warmer. And so it's right on the cusp here, but it's actually going to start to come back down to the south. So currently it's over 80 degree water. Forecast-wise, it's coming south. It's going to move over to warmer water anyways. Here's the latest look at it right now, and you can see that it actually looks fairly well. And what's happened is, it was in an area of shear yesterday, and that's why all that was blowing off in our direction. But it drifted a little bit to the north, and it's gotten out of the shear, and you can see from the visible satellite here, let me go in a little bit more, that it's pretty well stacked now. You've got your mid-level in here, the surface low is probably just a little bit to the south of that, but it's close, and it's under this cloud deck, which we would call a central dense overcast, or a CDO. And so to get a depression, you need a closed low, which means they went in there and they found about 1,006 millibars, and then more or higher pressures when you go further out. So you can close the low off there. And you need that CDO. You need those clouds over the center like that, especially if you want to make it tropical. Subtropical, you can kind of go without that. But we've got both. Now, Recon has been out there this afternoon. This is out of Keesler Air Force Base. This is one of the C-130s that they have out there. And looking at some of the numbers here, come on, pop up for me. Basically, what they were saying was we had winds of about 45 miles per hour at the surface here and a pressure of about 1,006, 1,007 millibars right here. All right, so that's enough to give it a depression status. Now, where's this thing going? It started out down here yesterday in some of the shear. This whole shear has actually shifted a little bit. Say it was here yesterday, it's kind of down here now. Right? It shifted a little bit further to the south. Plus, this kind of drifted up a little bit. So now it's in this area here where there's not a lot of shear, and that's the reason why we've seen it kind of flare up today. However, this shear, you can see it comes all the way down through here, and it's not really going to lighten up. Meanwhile, this thing is actually going to start to drift back down towards the south, get back into the shear, and that's just going to blow it all apart. Okay, so this is the window for it to do what it's doing, and obviously it's doing what it's doing. We have a depression now, but that is basically the only window that it has, because once it starts moving further south towards that western tip of Cuba, it's going to run into all of that shear. In fact, it's going to run into shear when it's down here west of the Keys. Okay, so you can see the modeling. A lot of it brings it to the south, and then it kind of spreads it out a little bit here. That's just because it's going to be tough to find a center in here just because it's going to be so sheared apart at that particular time. Here's the European forecast model. You can see it's been doing this for a while. Actually, the GFS was doing this before. The European had it here and then kind of dipping down over Miami and then coming up and out. The GFS wasn't really doing much with anything, and then it kind of just drifted off towards the south. But the European in the last 24 hours or so is driving it to the south, and then look at that. This is tomorrow night into Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. So you see, look, it just kind of fell apart. Let me back up here for you. That's tomorrow morning. We've got a close low right there. Tomorrow afternoon, still something there, right? That's Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, 6 o'clock. Look at it just falling apart. And then there's just nothing really left of it. It's all sheared apart at that particular time. Now, our concern is just moisture being thrown in our direction. That is it, right? We don't have a storm coming at us. You don't need to worry about that. This is not one for us to worry about. In fact, here's the forecast for winds. And this is from the European model again. You can see, especially watching the recon today, I've noticed the northeast and north has had the most wind. Certainly not much back here, and that's pretty much the case. The model is trying to say that rotates. We get a little bit more wind out here on the northwest side. But notice as we go through Friday night into Saturday, let me stop it here, Saturday afternoon. Look how much the wind's falling apart. Barely even a closed low here. And then you can see by Sunday morning and the Sunday afternoon, it's just gone. Right? There's something with the surface level left over here, but everything else is just blown off. So, good dry run. Well, I shouldn't say dry run. That's probably wrong words to use for that. Do we have a cone yet?
Not yet.
Yeah,
no.
okay, yeah.
They haven't set our system yet.
They haven't set it out yet here for us. But the rain that we saw yesterday was heavy at times. Look, some places saw 3 to 5 inches of rain. We could do that again today in some of these heavier downpours. I think the overall coverage will be a little less today and even the next couple days. When you've got this thing sitting out here organized, let me come back up here and show you a little bit bigger picture. Yesterday, we had something sitting out here, okay, and a bunch of shears sending moisture our way. So we had widespread rain, and it was heavy at times. Today, since it's kind of consolidating a little bit of its energy out here, we still have the flow coming here, and that's what's helping pop up these storms today. But usually you have a lot of rising air here, which means you're going to have sinking air here, at least a little bit. And I'd say enough to cut down on the coverage a little bit. There's still plenty of moisture around, and we're still going to get scattered showers and storms. I don't think they'll last as long, and I don't think the coverage will be exactly what we saw yesterday. So that's pretty good coverage that we have out there right now. I wouldn't expect to see much more than that each afternoon all the way through Saturday. And I do think we will keep this type of pattern in here through Saturday. All right, so let's get a little bit closer now. Pasco, Hernando, Citrus County. These are really good thunderstorms here in the western part of Pasco County. That's very heavy rainfall. Starkey Ranch area just north of 54. That alone could put down 2 to 3 inches of rain. It's just some estimates from what we've seen so far. It's about 2 1/3 inches. So yeah, I definitely think we'd be getting something close to that in that area. And that's going to drift off towards the north. Let me put this into motion for you. See how it's moving to the north? It's actually developing up towards Spring Hill and Brooksville. So very heavy rainfall with there. And there's lightning in there as well, too. Now, Pinellas. We're getting to the afternoon commute here. And that is a big storm over Safety Harbor. Ton of lightning, western end of the Courtney Campbell Causeway, the Bayside Bridge. Very slow go of it all the way up McMullen Booth Road, up into even Oldsmar. Oldsmar, we're going to get some decent rain out of this. And then you get up into West Chase, Odessa, Keystone area. You had one storm come through. Here comes another. And this is especially out towards the Citrus Park area, right up there by the mall. Very heavy rainfall over that. And so this type of heavy downpour will continue. Fishhawk, look at that, just east of Brandon. Another big one just east of Duet now. Don't think this will last very much longer. They'll all continue to drift off towards the northeast very, very slowly. But we're going to keep rain chances going through the evening hours, through about 8:30, 9:30 at least tonight. And then things will really start to taper off. Now, you can see Arcadia up to Wauchula, Hardy, DeSoto County. You know, yesterday we had a tornado warning in Hardy County. I don't expect a lot of severe weather threats with this other than flooding rains. But what happened was we had just these systems come together and they kind of caused some rotation. And that is possible. I mean, this is the outer fringes of a tropical system. So it's possible. It's just I don't think it's going to be a widespread deal here. So here's tonight at 5:30. Notice at 10 o'clock, almost all the rain's gone. Now, I can't rule out an isolated shower overnight tonight and first thing tomorrow morning, But overall, the best chance for showers and storms is going to come as we heat up each day. All right, you see by 2 o'clock, showers and storms starting. Here we go. This is 5 o'clock. Now, this doesn't look exactly like what we have now, but that's going to be pretty much what we have out there right now. Tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. And then Friday night plans, 8:30, 9:30. Most of it's falling apart. It'll be dry for that. Saturday, we're going to start it all over, dry in the morning. Once we get to the afternoon hours, we will have scattered showers and storms, but the coverage will be less altogether, both Saturday and Sunday. I still think we'll see some afternoon showers and storms in Sunday. So that's it, guys. I'm getting ready here for the 5 o'clock show. This next 12 hours will show the best chance for rain. This is actually for Tampa. It's saying a lot of it's east of there, but it's going to show it through the early evening hours. We're waiting on the track data to come in from the National Hurricane Center. We do now, and that's the headline, we do now have Tropical Depression 2, the first of the season, occurring on the first day of the season. Let's just get it all over at once. And if we're going to have anything, this would be great. Guys, this is going to be short-lived. It's not going to be a huge deal. We just want to make sure it goes south like the forecast model is suggesting. If that's the case, it's not going to be a huge deal, and we'll get this one out of the way. Does it make it to tropical storm strength? Some models do suggest that. Look, they're probably going to give it 35-mile-per-hour winds. 39 becomes tropical storm, and it gets a name, right? The next name on the list is going to be Arlene. Well, first name on the list is going to be Arlene. I've got that up here somewhere. Where is it? Here we go. So even though we had a subtropical storm in January, they went back and looked at it. I think the 23rd of January, somewhere in the middle of January, we had it. They're not going to give it the name Arlene. They're going to save that name for the first storm that pops up here. It is possible that this tropical depression becomes Arlene, Tropical Storm Arlene, later tonight or early tomorrow morning. But I think gradually, especially late tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours, this thing should get into an area where it's going to start to get blown apart there. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your Thursday afternoon. Look, we're here in the Weather Center. We're going to keep you informed and prepared and connected with all of what's going on here. This is nothing to worry about. You're not boarding anything up. You're not evacuating. No, none of that stuff. But this is a good reminder, certainly a good reminder, that the hurricane season has started. All right, guys. Thanks for everything.